All right. Hey, folks, we're going to play a solo game. I have randomly built the map terrain packs just because I really enjoy that as a way to get some varied terrain. I probably won't make it to a lot of the terrain, but we'll see. Who knows? Who knows how that will go? I've set up a few cameras. Oops, I've set up a few cameras here. And although I don't think I saved one that was focused on the, oh, maybe I did. Yeah, actually I did. Oh, that's right. I also want to turn off my auto save. So bear with me. This is going to be on the videos. Apologize. But um, if I turn off auto save, let's see. How do I do that again would be the next question. Never said I was a professional at doing this. I thought there was a way to save where I could say the time. Nope. Okay. Well, we'll leave it. My mod when it saves, because this mod has gotten so large, when it saves there's a pause, and so I'll make up stuff to talk about while we do that. Okay, so in this particular game, just chatting a little bit, somebody wanted me to play a squishy spellcaster, so we're gonna zoom in on this guy right here, the Enchanter. There are two sides to this card. One with 3 spells and no weapon. Because the Enchanter has so much attack speed, right here, I'm going to choose the side that has the staff, just in case I happen upon a single, you know, uh, goblin or somebody else that's kind of squishy. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double down on that ability. Now, there are some really cool choices here. I want an extra attack speed. So this could be the human. I really like playing humans in this game. Um, or I could go with a gnome. Or I could go even with a half elf and get an extra spell. But I want that speed cube. So I'm going to go human or gnome. Just because it's brand new, we'll go with a gnome. So I'll choose this one. Okay, and now let's go take a look at what we've done. So first off, in the mod, this is done automatically for you. The gnome gets three possible items, and let's go ahead and spread those out to see what we have. Nah, none of those are great, right? I only have the 1 cube, so these two aren't even of value to me. The dagger is a lot like my staff. I was really hoping to get an armor as protection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the spear just in case I get a might cube, or more likely I can sell it. It was the one that was worth the most money to me. So that's one of the things that the gnome does at the start of the game is they choose a they choose a uh, they choose an item to keep. Okay, and so that's the advantage of the gnome. I could have gone with the human to get that speed, but I didn't. Okay, second thing I have to do is you'll notice here that there's 2 spells. I get a yellow cube, and then I get a yellow or white cube. So I have to destroy one of those two. Let's go ahead and take a look at those spells that I could choose. They are right here. And we'll save this camera as well so that I can come back to it. So I'm definitely going to be choosing one yellow spell. And so just because I find it incredibly entertaining, for sure we're taking Discord. I get one other spell. Now's where I have to zoom in on these yellow and white spells to try and decide whether I'm going to take a yellow cube or a white cube. I love, and I mean love, the charm spell if I'm going to be doing missions. And this is a way to keep myself safe at civilization locations because my hero, the gnome lineage that I chose, doesn't produce that that many attributes, and attributes are what save you from trouble in civ locations. But I could also go this route and clobber some undead. Okay, so we're gonna go turn undead as my second spell. So I'm an enchanter who leans to the good side. We'll see if that lasts. And because I have chosen a white and a yellow spell, I'm going to want to get rid of one of these. Now, a couple things of note, and this is pretty dangerous. What I'm doing is I have one of each color. Both of these spells I chose require two of one color. So I can't even cast any of my spells unless I first enchant a tile. So I'm playing Living Dangerously. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold today. Okay, so that's my life. That's what I am. Let's go ahead and get started. It is a new turn. And I am entering the massive world. Where do I want to enter? So I don't want to enter in where there are caves, and I probably, because I'm a little squishy, want to stick fairly close to the civilization locations. A few other things that I guess I haven't covered. I like the optional rule of closing the distance. I also like the optional rule of roaming monsters that is in the natives rulebook. Roaming monsters means that wandering monsters, the ones listed on the left of these tiles, they will go to a random clearing, not to where the hero is when they are first summoned. The second thing I really like to play with is the more difficult side of these setup cards. And let's zoom in on one just so that you can. Let's zoom in on all of them. Actually, let's save a camera here. So on these, you'll notice that there are two sides. Oops, two sides to these. Why isn't it showing a second side? Huh, that's interesting. Let me just zoom in so I can show it manually. There are two sides on these setup cards. The first side, and there will be a little number in the upper portion. The first side is the easy side. The second side, one or more of the treasure sites has some characteristics to it that make it more complex and or dangerous. So I like playing with the second side, and you folks will have that in your printed copy of the game as well. Okay, so let's go back. Oops, let's go back to here, and let's look at our map and decide what we want to do, where we want to go. I mentioned all of that probably just for my own benefit more than anything else. And by the way, this is a collaborative game. You can put in the chat, or you can verbally say if you want me to do something in particular. I think I'm going to enter up here is my thought, because then I kind of have a pretty easy movement path to these areas. Look at the craziness of this right here. The sanctuary is in its own little loop. And so if I didn't have magic, getting there, if I started up here, getting there would be this crazy path, right? Matter of fact, how cool is this? The sanctuary truly is isolated in that there's a hidden path. It's the only way to get there without enchanting a tile. That's really cool. I love when you get crazy things like that with the map. Okay. And the other thing I like about the barriers is there isn't much of an obstacle to get through, and then it also gives me access to some other tiles that have a potential to have a lot of treasure in them. So my first move is going to be onto the barriers. So that is my first action, and I have a gate, and it's right in this clearing 4. So not a great find. Gates are amazing for movement, but there's no treasure sites there. Hey, Gerasimos or Patrick, welcome back. I apologize. I didn't notice which one of you had left. Okay, so that was my second and third action, and I'm squishy for my fourth and final action. I am going to sneak. Time to roll the dice of misery. Okay, so treasure site. I'm not in a treasure site. And then, of course, we do process the gray dice first, and that is important. So monsters return. There are no monsters on the map, so nothing happens. And then a treasure site symbol. There are no treasure sites in my clearing, so there is nothing to do there. Okay, so no monsters arrive. It was an uneventful turn. It is a new turn. I clear my statuses. I am no longer sneaky. And let's go. Let's go look here. I'm going to save this view. My first move or action will be a move into the flatlands. And I found the inn, and that's important because that's a new. That is a civilization location. It's new to the Natives expansion that exists in a wilderness tile. So what we do first, anytime you draw one of these tokens that has a plus sign on it, you draw another token of that same type. This is automated in the mod, and so there was an item. And so I get that reward first. Let's just draw that item. I'm just like the Dagger King. I, for the life of me, can't find armor, but that's okay. I'm going to, let me think. I'm going to equip that. And the reason I'm going to equip it is it does more damage, number one. And number two, I technically can throw it. And who cares if I lose a dagger, right? So that's one. And then the final thing we do is we have to draw our inn and see where it goes. So when you in the mod, again, it's automated. If you're playing in real life, you just roll a d6 and place the inn in that location. It can never be in the same location as a treasure site. So if you had found, the wrecked wagons or something like that, the inn has to be in a different site. Nobody builds an inn on this. Well, although that'd be entertaining, nobody builds an inn at the Horde, for example. And then I draw my two tokens, and let's flip those over and see who's here. So one is empty, and I'm going to put this like that, just so they fit nicely, and I'll lock those. But there's a scholar there. Oops, I didn't. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, so there's a scholar there. By clicking on there was an S on here. Anytime you see an S, that is setup, and so I set up the scholar in case I want to go there. So I've done one action so far. And this is not this. We can just set off to the side. Okay, I'm going to go to. I think I'm going to just take a quick jaunt up here. It's early. I think I'm just going to head this way so that I can see what might be in the moorland. Generally speaking, caves, swamps. That's not a cave, but caves, swamps, and mountains are the most valuable for treasure sites. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to sneak. And the reason being, a lot of orcs and dire wolves, which are very fast, could come to me. So we're going to, again, play it safe. You'll probably see me sneaking quite a bit unless I get some interesting treasures that change this for me. Okay. All right. And so let's look at what we get. I do get something bad. So number one is I'm in the plains. I've rolled woods. Nothing comes. But I did roll orcs. And orcs, when they come in hordes. It's the sum of the two dice. So I'll be getting 3 orcs. Again, if you're playing the real game, you do this manually. George has automated that in this mod. So I just click on M. It will read the dice that were rolled and bring the appropriate number of monsters. Wandering monsters with the optional rule I'm playing would go to the clearing indicated by the number. In this case, the orcs are on the right. Those are local monsters. They come directly to me. So I got 3 orcs. That triggers, they immediately try to block me, which triggers a hide check. because I want to try and hide or hide reaction, and I do successfully hide. So let's go back and take a look at those orcs. And the reason I want to take a look is I doubt I want to do anything with them. There's 3 of them, which is bad. But why I might want to do something with them, there's 1 orc, sword orc, an orc champion, and a bow orc. So I'm really slow, remember, afoot. I have one maneuver speed. In my head, I was thinking, well, I can't actually. I can't even cast my spell because these guys, I haven't enchanted the tile. So again, I'm just throwing a dagger at these guys. That seems like insta death. So we're going to not do that. Okay. So we're going to remain very quiet and do nothing. Okay. Feel free to ask questions. I'm not sure. So Gerasimos asks, what confuses me is to use tiles from different terrains to other ones. I don't quite understand the question. So if you want to restate it, I'm happy to answer the question. Okay. So we're on to turn 3. Okay. I'm going to stick with my plan. I'm going to move 1, 2. Because I'm moving out of the clearing as my first action, I don't have to roll to hide. So even though, and that's true, even though you'll note that it takes 2 movement to move into that, or 2 actions to move into that clearing because it's a swamp. My first action is, in essence, leaving the clearing. My second action is arriving in the swamp. That's actually, so we're in the plains, right? The inn will always be in the plains. There's a very isolated circumstances where it can arrive elsewhere, but the inn, and you'll even notice on the counter itself, it is a little plains symbol, and that allows you, when you have your physical copy of the game, to determine which terrain pack it should go in. That way, if you go, we're not playing with the plains, you just leave the inn in the bin. So the question was some confusion about, how treasure sites can appear in different locations. And that is true. So with treasure sites, you pick, you put them all in a big pile. And so it's possible that, in the plains, for example, is the monolith. But just because you're playing with it doesn't mean the monolith will appear in the plains. That means there's a treasure site that can appear. And it's quite likely that it will appear in, it could appear in the mountains, it could appear in the moor, it could appear anywhere. Yeah, that's the way that is done. Okay, so great. So I'm on turn 3, and I've moved into here. I have to grab a wilderness token, and there is a site, and that is the shrine, and that's awesome. And I'll explain why in a moment. So I've moved twice, right? And that is in clearing 4, which is also, you'll note, also a swamp. So I would use up all my movement to be there, and I think being smart is important here, playing it safe. So I'm going to sneak, and then the second action I'm going to do is, am I going to alert? I'm not fighting anything if it comes, I don't think, not yet. But there's nothing else for me to do. I can't, there's no other, I'm in clearing 3. You'll note that there are no hidden paths connected to my clearing. So, yep, I will alert. So here's what's really cool about that. The Wraith, sorry, I'm going to go back here again. The Shrine is has the Wraith. The Wraith is incredibly hard to hit. A movement speed of 4. And you'll note, by the way, going back to Gerasimos' question, that this is from the Woods terrain pack. It's in play because I'm playing with the Woods. But in this particular case, it arrived in a swamp. Okay? The treasure sites that are on smaller tokens, like the wrecked wagon or the secret cache, things like that, they will almost always appear in the pack that they're with, right? So for example, the secret cache is in the woods terrain pack, and it will almost always appear in a woods tile. There are very limited circumstances where it can't. And so that's why I created that concept of their treasure sites that just appear anywhere. You can find a shrine, in this case in the swamp. There are also some treasure sites that are almost exclusive to the particular terrain pack, and I wanted that variability. That's the reason that is that way. But getting back to why this is such a great thing is the Wraith is incredibly hard to hit. I chose the Turn Undead spell. And if you look, you'll note that it does not have the target symbol on it like Discord does. Discord actually has to hit the monsters. This is an area effect. If I cast Turn Undead, it just kills the undead in the clearing. So I don't care how fast it is, I just want to kill it. Now, before I can cast it, I'll have to enchant that tile, but so be it. Okay, let's roll the dice. Okay, so I've rolled mountains, I'm not in mountains, and I've rolled claws. I guess I didn't even look at the tile that I'm in. It summons ogres because of stench, so no monsters come. Now, in the mod, you can just click on the M, and it will automatically summon the monsters to you. Excuse me, I still have my cold bothering me a little bit. Okay, cool.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, fire away.
Kind of a side question. How many undead monsters are in the game?
You know, in the core game, there are not a lot. There are there's the Wraith, where did I save it? I don't have. There we go. So in the core game, which are these three middle ones, right? There's the Lich, there's the Demon, and there is and then there's the Wraith, who's up here. So there's three is all. Desolation adds quite a few more. The Lost Battalion, and actually that might be it. But the Lost Battalion being 4 monsters by itself. So yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yep. Natives. Natives. Let me think for a second. Does not add more undead, but a little foreshadowing. Eastern Reaches does. So Eastern Reaches is adds quite a bit. Okay. Cool. So we'll retrieve. We'll go to a new turn. And clearly the thing I want to do is I want to enchant this tile just to get that underway. So I'll unlock the tile. I'll flip the tile. And then I'm going to grab a white cube. I'll just duplicate this one. And I want to enchant it with white magic. Okay, I like to make the cubes bigger in Tabletop Simulator just so that it's abundantly clear. In the real game, that seeing the cubes is actually really easy. Now, the only negative about this is, you'll remember the shrine on clearing 4 requires 2 movement to get there. I only have 1 action left. Probably the prudent thing to do anyway is to sneak. So I'll place that cube there. All right, let's roll the dice. So this is a terrible roll. So I rolled Monsters Return. There are no monsters on the map, but I did summon ogres, and it's going to be 2 ogres. The reason that stinks, and we'll just click on the M to bring them. So I'll answer the question, Gerasimos, in just a moment. Yeah, there's also the Death Knight. Thanks, Patrick. That's also one I didn't mention. This is a local monster, right? So let me drop that for a second. This is a local monster, and so they come directly to where I am. Okay, and I need to attempt to hide again. I'm going to bring that a little closer, and let's roll those dice. Thankfully, I snuck, right? Because I snuck, that allows me to ignore that one red symbol. So I am hidden from the ogres. Let's take a look at those ogres just for a quick second, which is, they're 3 and they're armored. I'm literally with a dagger that does 1 damage. So there are 2 of them. I would have to hit each of them 3 times. So 6 successful hits before they hit me 1 time. Now I can, or 2 of them, I theoretically could cast Discord. Oh, that could be kind of fun. Oh, that could be really fun. Should I do it? I mean, it might be the shortest game I've ever streamed, but there are 2 of them and I can auto hit. Oh no, I have to enchant the tile and I have it enchanted to white. Okay, so I can't cast Discord. I'm still kind of magic limited. I enchanted the tile to white. If I had enchanted it to yellow, I could have cast the spell because I can ignore 1 yellow box, right? And this is also Gerasimos asks the question: you need to enchant the tile to use your spell, or can you just activate the spell directly with your cube? You can just activate it with your cubes, but because I was a little bit greedy, I wanted both Turn Undead and Discord. These are 2 separate colors of spells, but they both require 2 of a color. So I cannot cast either spell at this point unless I enchant the tile to give me the second cube of the color I need. Yeah, Gerasimos, great. Gerasimos said, "Oh, you wanted both of them." Yeah, I was being greedy. It probably would have been smarter for me to go, since I chose high end spells, to go with a single color. I should have maybe gone with yellow, but we're playing this for entertainment value. So if I had chosen Discord, right, I could have put 3 cubes on my attack speed, right, plus these 2 cubes, the free one from the enchantment, and then I could have auto hit these ogres, and we could have watched them fight to the death. But that's not what happened because I am enchanted with white. So I hid. We're going to remain very quiet. Okay. We're going to move on to the next turn. Problem is, now that they're there, there's a higher chance of them coming to me each turn, which is not great. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to move 1 to there. Hey, Dorini, how are you? Hey, Formathrax, how are you? Formathrax sounds like a great name for a dragon. Is that where you got the name? Or is that just a reference that I should know but don't?
Hey, you might know it. So the story is it's the purposeful misspelling of the dragon from the 1980s movie Dragon Slayer.
Yep.
Dragon in the movie was Vermithrax, pejorative.
Yep.
So back way back in the day when I was doing MMOs, the name kept getting taken by folks, so I changed it very slightly and I've been using it for a very long time now.
Some of the greatest special. I mean, that was 1980s, and the movie was not good, in my opinion. But that dragon is still amongst the best I've ever seen. I mean, that's on par with Smog from The Hobbit, really.
Holds up amazingly well for practical effects, especially.
For practical effects, yep. Okay, so I spent 2 movement. I'm a squishy enchanter who, in the right circumstances, can kill undead. So I'm going to go 1-2 to here. Okay. The second thing I'm going to do. Boy, I really wish those ogres hadn't arrived. I'm going to take a search action and try and find that location. Yeah. And I always when I'm playing live, I don't forget. But in Tabletop Simulator, I always forget at the beginning of the turn, all the pink cubes you have here are removed from the board. So as my 4th and final action, I'm going to sneak. So what I'm really hoping for is a sight symbol and no matching symbols on the tile. I'm in a swamp tile with stench, and I get nothing. So no, the ogres that are in the tile don't move to me. So these guys remain right where they are. I don't get my wraith that I can auto kill, and I also don't get giant serpents. And you can confirm that by clicking on the M to do the tile and the G to do the guardian. It will read the dice and do it for you. Okay, so I will retrieve the token. We will move on to turn 6. And I am going to attempt to find the shrine again. So 1 success. Okay, we're gonna a third action. We're gonna search for it. Okay, cool. I'm on the board. So I get a legend point and 5 fame as the finder of the shrine, and then hey, see, I told you I always forget. We're gonna move that off, and then we're gonna put 1 on. We're gonna sneak. I'm pretty fearful. So for those joining late, just a quick note. Um, I chose 2 different spells that require enchantment, and I'm pretty slow moving, but I can cast spells incredibly fast in the right circumstances. So I feel pretty confident. We're playing with closing the distance and roaming monsters, as well as the difficult side of the setup tiles. Okay, so that's the end of turn 6. Boy, it's been slow going. Plains and Stench. This is a horrible result for me. So because I matched on one of those 2 symbols, all the monsters in the tile move to me, and we summon new ones. And I didn't even look; it's just 1. But and because it's a local monster, it moves to exactly where I am. So that's my new my new buddies. So I'm gonna try to hide. So let's hopefully we hide. Okay, so I was able to hide. All right, let's put those there. And I'm just going to remain silent. The problem is now I have ogres, right? So I have to waste an action sneaking at the beginning of the turn just to be able to do anything. So let's retrieve this. Let's go on to turn 7. This clears. My first, I do want to stick around because I want to loot that shrine. So first action is to sneak. Immediately after 1 action, the monsters will try to block you, and I am able to hide. So I can now do my other 3 actions in complete safety. It's worth noting, again, I mentioned I'm playing on the harder side 2 of the setup cards, and you'll notice with the shrine, roll local monster die for the wraith after each successful loot and apply immediately. So this breaks the rules of the games just a little bit, which is that the wraith can be summoned in the middle of the turn. Now I'm hidden, so even if the wraith arrives, I'm still hidden. But this is if I was, if those monsters weren't there and I just did a loot, every time I steal one of the treasures, there's a chance the wraith is going to arrive. Okay, at the shrine there are 5 treasures. So my first action was the sneak, which then allowed me to hide. I'll now loot the shrine. That's a pretty good roll. I get the second treasure from the shrine. Pushing 2 on a numeric keypad gets me the worst treasure that a Gnome Enchanter can possibly get. Probably not true. I get the Cursed Axe, which is too heavy for me to wield, so it's going to be worth 6 gold. The Cursed Axe, the symbology on that is it's extra sharp. So if you cover that second spot, you get 2 sharpness, but you always must play more speed than whoever you're facing. You never get to roll the hit dice. So that's why it's only $6. I'm going to loot again. So this will be my third action. Figure as long as I'm hidden, I might as well try to get all I can. So I get the third treasure. And just real quick, So this has 2 deep and 3 treasures. So I'm getting interesting. This actually has potential. So the artificer's concoction, which could be handy against ogres. Could be is the key word. So this does 4 damage. It would be -1, 3 damage against these ogres. Um, rolling the range die. Now the good news is it only requires 1 cube, so I could play 4 speed cubes and undercut them all for sure. I would have to roll to stay hidden at the end, and that feels a little scary. Okay, I'm going to loot one more time. Okay, there we go. That's good. I get the second treasure. That's probably all I'm going to do at this site because there's only 2 treasures left. I found a spell book, which could be good. Let's see what's on it. Air Sword, which I cannot cast. Turn Undead and Charm. Okay, this is brilliant. I can learn 2 of the 3 spells, and I do want to talk about that Turn Undead for you all because there are sometimes questions about this. I'm going to put it in an active slot. You cannot learn spells unless it's in an active spot. So someone might say, hey, Scott, you already know Turn Undead. That doesn't matter. You can learn the spell even if you already know it. You've learned like an alternate version of it. Here's where that's really cool is if you have shapeshift at the beginning of the game, and then you find shapeshift again, you could cast it if you had purple magic, right? You could cast it and have 2 permanent shapeshift spells active. If you're ever in the presence of purple magic, you get to choose which one activates. And so what's really cool about that is you could make yourself into a dragon, and you could make yourself into a bat. One for getting away and one for clobbering, goblins. Right? Okay, cool. So that's cool. That's a couple of legend points that I'll be able to collect. All right, let's roll the dice to see what happens. And by the way, if I'm providing too much detail or too little detail, don't hesitate to say anything. Okay, monsters return, and I don't think that impacts anything. Oh, no, this guy. These orcs return. So when you roll that arrow, that means any monsters in the clearing, in the tile, would move to my location. And any monsters and natives that are not in a tile where there is no hero, they return to the monster tray. All right. Cool. So, yeah. I don't think. So, I'm not going to do it, but just for humor value to show you how bad of an idea it would be, I'm going to. So, everything I'm about to do is fake. I'm not actually going to fight these ogres. But let's play it out as if I was just, I'm insane and I wanted to kill them, right? So I'm going to grab these guys and drag them onto my board just so that I can show everything at the same time. So let's say I wanted to do this. This is a one-time use, right? This Artificer's Concoction is one-time use. So what I would do is I would say, I'm going to throw this. I'm going to target. Um, um, Yeah, and it. By the way, you'll notice that I want to target. I want to target these ogres, right? Blink, put that on there, and that's great. The problem is I'm not going to be able to kill them, right? And then I have to roll to hide, and these guys are going to are immediately going to come after me, right? Because I'm more than likely going to be unhidden. So terrible idea, right? And the other part, they're armored, right? So the likelihood of me being able to do anything with them is really slim. Okay, let's throw this up here. So let's be smart And the other part is, it's time to get the heck out of Dodge anyway, right? I mean, if you look at it, there's, I've cleared out the treasure side. It would be great to kill the Wraith, but yeah, not going to happen. Okay, cool. Let's retrieve. Let's go on to turn 8. And I'm doing terribly in game terms at this point because I haven't done that much. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to go 3, move 3. I should say what I'm actually doing. Move to here, and then this is still a tile. It's got orcs and dire wolves. So let's sneak. All right, and look, I already placed the cube. All right, time to roll. Boy, those orcs just like coming back to me, huh? There are, again, 3 orcs that will be arriving in that tile. I'll just click on the M because I'm lazy, and they will automatically bot to me. This time, this orc war party consists of an axe orc, the orc lord, and a sword orc. So it's even worse than last time. You'll note that I don't have this tile enchanted, so I will not be casting any spells. So hopefully we will hide, and that sneak did the trick. And it did. Because of the sneak, I can ignore that one red icon, and away we go. Okay. All right. Let's retrieve the token. Boy, I'm just we're almost a third of the way through the game, and I think I have 1 point. All right, we're gonna go 1 to here. I could search for this, but I think it's better for me to go 2, 3, and sneak. So a question that might come up, because this is new to natives, right? The idea that there's a civilization location in a wilderness tile. You go, well, what happens, Scott, if, let's say I did 4, let's say I just moved to here. What happens if these monsters get summoned to this civ location? The rules actually have not changed much from the main game, the core game, if that were to occur, and there's very limited circumstances that can occur in the core game. But what happens is all the monsters summon first, then the natives summon. But if there are monsters on the civilization location, any natives that are there are returned to the monster tray. In other words, the natives scatter. Okay? And the interesting thing about that, again, I'm probably going into too much detail for what you want, but that is the only way that these garrison units that start on the map will ever leave the board. So if I had the summoning marcation and I moved to the sanctuary, then um, if monsters were summoned from the adjacent tiles and arrived here, these priests would go back to the monster tray, and the only way they'd come back is if the cunning symbol was rolled on the native die. So again, maybe too much information, but I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to stay here and sneak. Welcome, Teresa.
We have one more question for you when you have a convenient.
Fire away. So there's another game going on simultaneously. So go ahead. What's the question?
The question is, are the hearts red cubes for all practical purposes? I thought I saw that in the chat
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep.
So
It's
I
even
can put it in a red box?
no, it's not. No, they are not. They're not red cubes. The hearts are cubes, so you can wound them anytime. Anytime you see the word cube, you can. A heart applies, but a heart is not a might cube. So
Ah, dang. Okay.
good luck to you.
So the only thing you can do is wound them?
The only thing you can do is wound them, and if you wound your last heart, you die.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we needed an extra might cube to kill a giant dragon. Okay. Thanks.
You bet. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right. So let's roll the dice. Right. Let's see what happens. for the monsters. Right? Oops, monster summoning. Okay, monsters return. Boy, I'm rolling that a lot, huh? And then stench. So monsters return. There's nobody in this tile. Let's just so these all return. Blink, blink, blink. Which is good. I'm not going to go back to the shrine just to kill that wraith. Oh, you know what, guys, you didn't keep me honest. I forgot to every time I successfully looted, I was supposed to roll to see if the wraith would come. It doesn't matter. I was hidden, and I wouldn't have tried to kill him with his other guys there. The other thing that happens is remember I just got done talking about this. Anytime you're in a tile and you roll that monster's return symbol, any monsters in the tile move to where you are. So those orcs come to visit me. Okay, and then the stench does not match, so that does not come. But I do have to attempt to hide, or I want to. They attempt to block me. I attempt to hide. Oops. Okay, and again, thanks to my sneak, I'm okay. Yeah, so Patrick asked the question of, I remember reading somewhere that the hearts were originally pink cubes. In the original incarnation of the game, I didn't have red hearts. It was, you used pink cubes to represent your health. And as a thank you, just like the reveal that we did at the end of this campaign, where we gave you the animated skeletons and the familiar as a as chips, we said we're going to upgrade everybody. We're going to provide hearts so that you can distinguish them. People didn't like the idea of pink cubes. Truth is, I kind of like it because then I didn't have to. Now you don't have the confusion of people going, "Now is a heart a cube or what's a?" So anyway, but it is what it is. I like the hearts; they're cool. All right. So I hid, and I again don't want to do anything with them. I need to get my butt in gear. It is a third of the way through the game, and I have a point and 5 fame. Okay, so let's go back over here. First action I'm going to do is again leave. I'm going to go 1 to the inn. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trade action to look at what the scholar has for sale. Oops, and that was here. The scholar is, where is the scholar? Right here. So I'm going to do a trade action with the scholar. I will obviously play this publicly. Let's just spread these out to see what it is. Okay. So let's zoom in on this. Okay. So a great sword and battle axe. Hey, how useful is that to an enchanter? Not really. So there is a spell scroll, which I will fill. So I'll draw a spell. It's not one that I can use, so I'm going to ignore that. Note that if we were playing in a game and all of you were in the game with me, and I look at in the physical copy or even here, and I look and I see there's a spell scroll, I do not have to draw a spell. I can choose to not reveal that there's a spell scroll or spell book there. Okay. There is a Brooch of Deflection, which cancels 1 hit. That could be valuable for me. And there's a Potion of Relief, which removes curses, which could also be really useful for me because I'm going to try to learn some spells. There are 2 missions, killing bats and killing dire wolves. I'm going to grab both of those. You can have two at any time, right? So I'm going to grab those, and I'm just going to drop them here. And the reason I'm drawing those isn't because I expect to be killing wolves or bats, both of which are really difficult to hit. But I want these missions to cycle. At the end of my turn, we're going to draw 2 more. Okay, and then the final one you'll see is the Banner of Legitimacy, which has a red backpack item. That has to stay face up, including on the merchant, for the rest of the game, wherever it is. And this makes this particular treasure makes the Bashkers, Rogues, and Sellswords less friendly to you, the Knights, Soldiers, and Watch more friendly to you. Okay, so that applies for both hiring makes hiring them easier. It also makes them less likely or more likely to insult you. Okay, so, boy, they're both good treasures. What does the scholar respect? The scholar respects cunning, of which I think I have quite a bit. We'll look at that in a second. I'm going to attempt to get the brooch of deflection. So it's 21 gold, which I do not have. Oh, good lord, I only have one icon. Check that out. I'm a good guy. I'm not very cunning. So I'm going to change that plan. I am just going to spend 9 gold to buy the potion. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do I'm going to attempt, as long as I'm here, I'm going to attempt to haggle for that brooch of deflection. I need to roll a 0 or 1 as my highest number. A 4. So he rejects me. The reason I didn't buy the potion of relief, even though it could be valuable, is I don't expect to get too many curses. And spending 9 gold, right, when 10 gold will get rid of 2 curses, call me an optimist. I don't think I'm going to need it. Okay, so all these are brought back together, right? And then I'm going to grab this one on top. And I'm just going to, I guess I should probably do this the right way, which is these are face down and this is face up. Okay. And that all goes back. Oops. Sorry about that. All goes back to the scholar. There we go. So the inn. So remember that banner of legitimacy is active. One of the things I really like that Kirk does is he actually duplicates the card when you get one that is active in a particular tile or clearing, and he just makes a little mini version of it. So there are some advantages to Tabletop Simulator. That just lets me know that in this location is the banner of legitimacy. It's worth noting I'm at the inn, and we can look over here and we can look at the rules. And I want to go to page 12, the final page of this particular rule book, because you can see here that the rogues, the watch, and the sellswords are the folks who come to the inn. What did we just talk about? The rogues and the sellswords are going to be less friendly and more ornery. The watch is going to be more friendly. So I got a 2 out of 3 chance of something bad coming to me. So I don't think I want to stick around. It would be nice to hire one, though. Okay, but that was 1, 2, 3 actions into the Lonely Mountains. Let's find some stuff. That is not the stuff I was looking for. So I get an item. What do I get? I get a helmet that's too heavy for me to wear. So again, into the backpack it goes because I can't use it. And then my fourth and final action will be that sneak that I keep forgetting to reset. Okay, let's roll the dice and see what comes my way. Boy, I really have to start taking chances. It's just not getting that much right now. Okay, orc heads and caves. Thanks, Ed. All right. No monsters come, so I'm okay. So I can run back just to kill that monster, but I don't think I'm going to. Okay, let's retrieve. Let's go new turn. We're now officially into the second third of the game. I will move 1, 2, and I will move 3 into the Broken Lands. And I find a treasure. Please be something good for me. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, let's make sure I put that back in the right place. That is an adult dragon. Right there. Okay, I get a treasure. Okay, so this is actually good for me. I found the shoes of the thief, and we're going to equip those right away. That allows me to run away. All it's useful for is for evasion, right? But I evade at a speed of 3 always, which is good. I only have 2, so I can run away a little bit faster. So that worked out okay. So that was 1, 2, 3 dire wolves and centaurs. Okay, I'm not quite ready to start taking too many chances, so I will just sneak. Let's see if that paid off. It did. And that I'm getting centaurs and the guardians if they were there. Okay, so let's just click on this. Dire wolves appear, and it's worth noting dire wolves, because I'm playing with the roaming monsters variant, right? They're going to appear in a random tile or random clearing, but the die roll is a 4, which means they come directly to me. Lucky me. So let's see if I can hide. I do hide because of my sneak. Okay. So much for that. Retrieve. We're going to go and turn. And how many were there? 1, 2. Yeah, I'm still going to leave. We go 1 to there. 2, 3 to the Elder Woods. Boy, am I not having luck on my draws, huh? Now I think about it, I should have sold some of my stuff to the guy. And yet another dagger. That's my 3rd dagger I've found. So we're gonna just put that in my backpack. I already got one. So that was 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna sneak. Okay, let's roll the dice. Carrion and Woods. So this is going to match. That's going to bring 1 giant spider to my clearing. So there we go. And again, the die roll matches where I happen to be located. However, I actually get to fight this guy because I can take him. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here. So giant spider, I have a dagger. I only need to do 2 damage. And this guy, even though he's fast with a 3 on one side and a 2 on the other for his maneuver speed, if I play 1 red cube, that's enough to kill him. That'll do 2 damage to an unarmored monster. And if I put these cubes there, you like my placement? Let's do that a little. Come on, cooperate with me. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and process this combat. First thing that happens, now that I've placed it and I'm targeting him, is I roll the dice for his tactics. He does change tactics. Okay. In the first round of combat, attack speed does not determine the order. It's attack length, and a dagger is length 0. He's a length 0. The tiebreaker is the number of attack cubes played. So my attack goes first because my 4 is faster than his 1. My 4 cubes is also undercuts him, which means I hit and do 2 damage, killing the spider. So this gets, let's flip this over. And I have earned my first kill. So I'm at 13 fame. Still doing terribly, but solitary monsters, they get to die. Okay, let's retrieve and go on to turn 13. Okay, so here I am. I can enchant the tile as a way to get to the deep woods faster. Nope. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 into the deep woods. And I have found a site, thankfully. And that site is exactly where I was going to go. Okay, so the chamber is over here. Now, the chamber, remember, I'm playing with the difficult side of the setup cards. You need 4 strength to open the chamber, and I don't have 4 strength, so I can't even loot that. So my misery continues. My final action will be to sneak as well. So again, I'm just leaving that cube there. Let's roll the dice. Okay, carrion and caves. I don't think either matches. Guess I don't know what I'm in. Let's go up here and let's save that view. Again, more orcs is what it is. So nothing matches. So there is no monster. No monsters arrive. Oop. Oh no! What did I do?
Hey, Scott.
Yep.
Regarding the chamber, where's the skeleton key?
Skeleton key is a treasure that you can find. So I have to rewind. I accidentally deleted the tile, which is obviously less than optimum. So give it a second here. Yeah, skeleton key is a treasure. It is a regular treasure, not a deep treasure, which means that it can you can find it in a merchant's shop. There's one of them in the
Does it
game.
have any other uses?
Nope, it's just worth a couple bucks. So, yep. If you're playing with the front side, it's one of the worst treasures you can loot for that very reason, right? Okay, so I accidentally hit the wrong key and I deleted that, so I had to reload. Okay, so yeah, we are. Let's see. Apologize. I moved. I got the treasure. Oh no, sorry. I'm over here. I got this site. It's in a bad spot. Blah blah blah. I need to roll for. Oh, and then I rolled and I didn't get any monsters. So we're on to the next turn. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, and worth noting, the mod puts these in a clearing, but it's not actually in a clearing. That just throws it up there so that we don't clutter up the tiles too much. Okay, 1, 2 into a cave. I lose one of my actions, right? And there is a treasure site here. The monolith is in location 2, so that's good. That is one I can open, but I did lose an action, so I only have 1 left. Giant bats and kobolds. So 3 sides of the dice. There's an 11% chance, approximately, of something coming to get me here. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Okay, I'm desperate. We're going to risk. No, we're not. We're not that desperate. Okay, because I have to do some things next turn. I'm going to sneak, and just to try and remain safe. We roll the dice. Stench and forest, so it would have paid off. No, actually, that is kobolds. Son of a. Okay, kobolds come in hordes. They come to me. So if I wouldn't have snuck, I would have been rolling this dice without the benefit to try and hide without the benefit. And I would have. I did because I snuck. I'm okay. Otherwise, I probably would have been toast. Because there are how many? 1, 2, 3 kobolds. Okay. I'm just gonna leave those guys where they are. Okay, we go on to a next turn. Retrieve the token. We're on to the next turn. Okay, clear my sneak status. The bummer about that is I was gonna enchant the tile so I could cast Discord, but Now I can't because they're there. I'm going to move 1 to here, get out of the clearing. I'm going to search for that site. So now I have a little bit of a dilemma. I have 1 action left, and I don't necessarily want to lose that, but I am going to sneak. And the reason I'm going to sneak again is I'm kind of squishy. Okay, let's roll the dice. Orc heads and planes, so yeah, I didn't need to sneak. It was a wasted action because nothing came to me. Okay, next turn. Retrieve. And new turn. All right, this time we're just going to spend 3 actions to enchant the tile. Okay, so 3 actions in a row to enchant the tile to yellow magic. Okay, now why did I do that? That puts my discord spell into play in case some baddies come to me. But I didn't sneak. Let's roll the dice. and, I, and I am getting a monster. I'm getting 1 giant bat. This could be the end of me. This game of, oh no, that's right. Wandering monster. He goes to a different location. So the giant bat, of all things, is out feeding on mosquitoes, massive mosquitoes, outside the caves. So um, that worked out okay. I lucked out. That's all I got to say. Okay. Any questions on anything I'm doing so far? Any more questions? Okay. Turn 17. First action. We're going to search for the site. And I found it. That's awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I wanted to show you this on the monolith. On this side, skeleton key or wound a magic cube of any color to open. So as of right now, I can't loot it. But if I wound a white cube, I, I now open the monolith and it's available for anybody else to loot. The problem is I need that cube to cast Discord, so now I can't cast Discord. Okay, so I found it. That was 1 action. This is not an action to open it. It's just it's a reaction. I'm going to loot at the monolith, and I get the 3rd treasure from the monolith. Right. Oops, that's up right here. I get the 3rd treasure. And it's worth noting this is 3 deep and 3 treasures. So I did find a deep treasure, or sorry, an epic treasure, which gets me. It's just this particular one. Let's just put it here. Always goes in your backpack. It's face down. It's just really valuable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this, and that's good because now I got some money. And as my 3rd and final action, I'm going to sneak because I can't cast my spell. Roll the dice to see what happens. Planes, no. Carrion, no. Neither matches my tile, so no monsters come. Again, kind of wasted an action there, sneaking. That's okay. Okay, new turn. Okay, we're going to be bold. Number 1, I'm going to rest in the caves twice. 2 rests is a short rest. You can see here in the upper right, which gets me a quick rest. 2 actions gets me 1 cube back. I have 1 action left. I'm going to loot. And I get the 3rd treasure. Please be something useful. Oh, that is kind of interesting. So this is a permanent, a one-time use. I can permanently change one magic color to another magic color. So I could ditch that white cube if I wanted, for example. Is the Omnicrux undead? Nope. So my rule undead spell is not useful. Okay, that was that. I am not sneaky, so if monsters come, I could be in trouble. Okay, so mountains does not match. Look who comes to say hello. The Omnicrux comes to me. Let's go set that up. Come on, let me click you. There we go. So the Omnicrux comes to me. So let's do a few things here because this is going to matter. First, let's just roll to see if I hide. Any red symbols and I am unhidden. Oh my god, I'm hidden. I was so toast if that wouldn't happen because on one side he fireballs and on the other side he disorients. And disorient means you can't even attack. So if he hits me with disorient, so here's disorient, right? And I can't attack again until I'm targeted. And even then it's slow. So the only thing that probably would have saved me is, I can't even run away from him either. So I got lucky and I am hidden. I can cast Discord, but Discord has to hit 2 different monsters in order to apply. So that is that. I am going to stay hidden. I'm not going to throw my dagger at the Omnicrux. Okay, that's me. Gonna retrieve, and new turn. Turn 19. All right. I am going to sneak as my first action. I want to steal a few more of his treasures. Let's try and hide. And I do hide. So I can take my other 2 actions freely. I will loot. I get treasure 2. All right. So I get treasure 2. The robust ring. I'm going to put that on. And that gives me another heart. So, kind of cool. And I will loot a 3rd time. That's all I'm going to do is I'm just here to loot, or loot a 2nd time. The 3rd treasure up here. Right there. And I get the symbol of rest. I don't have a spot for it right now, and I don't need the rest. So I am just going to put that in my backpack, which means it goes face down. Worth noting, I did randomly grab this bat hawker. If I can kill 3 bats somehow, probably not going to happen. Okay, cool. Let's roll for monsters. Forest, and he's already with me. This symbol, by the way, would make the monster move back to his site. And remember, the order that you process the dice matters. And so, just for sake of example, let's say this was on the cave symbol. There we go. Thereby matching the tile I'm in, and let's pretend I was over here. If because I rolled a matching symbol, that would cause all of these monsters to move to me, right? But then because of the site symbol, that causes a guardian to always return to their site unless they're dead, right? And so that in that circumstance, all these monsters would have moved to me, and then the Omnicrux would have moved right back to his site, even though he was in the clearing with me. It's a special rule about the way Guardians work. Okay. Retrieve the tokens and move on. I am 2/3 of the way through the game. I have 5 points. I do have the way I can learn those spells, which is cool. But so I'm going to go 1, 2 into the Timberlands, and the campfire is there. So again, the first thing we do is we grab another token. We grab another wilderness token. There's a treasure. I get the treasure freely, and then we place the campfire. The campfire is over here in this clearing, and the two guys that are at it are the crone and the artificer. Now, if I were to enchant this tile, it connects clearing. No, what does it connect? Oh, I see. These are actually connected all. No. Oh, that's 5 and 6. 5 and 6. So yeah. So if I move to clearing 6 and enchant the tile, I could just run across to this. I don't know. It's that important. Okay, so I've done 1, 2, and I'm just going to move to here. I'm not going to sneak. So let's roll a dice and see what happens. The dice of death. Okay. Swamps and roar, neither of which match my tile, I don't think. Nope. So I am safe. Oh, and I didn't grab my treasure. This is going to be the game changer for me. This is going to be it. You watch. Right here. Sorry, didn't mean to laugh so loud. The mirror of idolatry. I cannot sneak and I cannot alert. Now, if I had already snuck that turn, which I didn't do, that would apply for that one turn. Now, it does get me a point. I'm actually okay with this. 3, 4, 5. Let's go back to my clearing. So look how close I am to the dwarves, right? And often, one of the items the dwarves are looking for is an epic treasure. So let's save this view. These titles are a very important way to earn points in the game. So dwarves are looking for an epic treasure. That is the only way that you can remove a treasure from the game is by giving it to a native that's looking for it. I have things that these dwarves are looking for. So this actually turned out amazing. Okay, let's retrieve the token and go on to the next turn. I now have a plan. I love it. 1, I am at the dwarves. Okay, my next action is I will do a trade action to give them the mirror of idolatry. It is an epic treasure. So if I give this to them, right, and that just removes it from the game. So technically I can just delete it, right? Yeah, no kidding, Patrick. So Patrick said, "How fortunate you were nearby the dwarves." Uh, the man does not lie. I'm just going to grab a pink cube. So you use the pink cubes to mark status. So that the dwarves are now satisfied. I gave them an epic treasure that gets me an LP. Okay, but I'm not done because if I'm not mistaken, I also have a deep treasure. It's so valuable though. Are any of these deep treasures? I don't think so. the robust ring. Yep. Okay. I'm going to give them the robust ring, removing that from the game. Okay, right here. Right? Yeah. So I am a dwarf digger and I am a dwarf friend. Okay? And then as my fourth and final action, I'm also going to give them the symbol of rest, which is the treasure that grants an extra action. And that gets me dwarf sponsor. So I moved and I did 3 actions to get rid of 3 treasures out of the game. Right? Right here. Yeah, symbol of rest. So that's out of the game as well. I kept my jeweled thieves skull. I earned 3 LP, but I also haven't snuck. Yeah, if you're in the middle of nowhere when you get that mirror, it's trouble. Okay, so boy, what a recovery! I got a lot of points in that one turn. Okay, I'm in a civ location. So this die is now in play. If there were, this is where, if I roll a symbol, I look and I compare it to this chart. And in this case, I'm at the mine. So the console could show up, the watch can show up, and the soldiers can show up at the mine. In this particular case, I have, none of those, I rolled a blank, so none of them come. Boy, that turned out to be a good turn. Holy cow. Thank goodness. Maybe I have a chance. All right, turn 20. You know what? I don't have a chance. Let's just call it what it is. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. Oh, the other thing I didn't do, sorry, when I did move in here is I should have revealed these 2 tokens. So there's the armorer and the smuggler that are here. So they have things I might want. Armor and smuggler. Armor and smuggler. Let's... no, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay. The smuggler doesn't respect anything, so he's really hard to haggle with. And the armorer is over here. 2 treasures, 6 items, 2 missions. Okay, cool. First action. I'm going to trade with the armorer. What did I just say he respects? Charisma. I got a lot of charisma. Very charismatic guy. And we're going to spread these. Hey, Jamos. Welcome. All right. So this is what is there. I'm going to fill this to see if there's a spelling cast. Fiery Chasm. I cannot. Ring of Truth would be amazing for me. So I don't have an epic treasure that's a weapon. Possess 1 treasure, 1 deep treasure, and I can remove them from the game to draw 1 of these. Okay, I'm going to take this Dark Worshipper. I'm going to take that particular, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take that Dark Worshipper mission just in case. I have to ditch one of my spells, or sorry, one of my missions. I'm going to ditch this mission to do so. I think that's in a discard pile. Okay, so that's now in play. And I'm going to sell him a whole slew of stuff. But I might keep... Only thing is, to complete this, the only thing I have, the only deep treasure I have is that jeweled thief's skull. So maybe I won't be doing that. Okay, so let's spread these out. I'm going to sell all of these because I don't need any of them. That's 10, 16, 16, 28, 31 gold for those. And do I want to sell any of these others? Nope. So I'm going to sell these It's worth noting they go right into the pile with his other stuff, so other people can come and buy that later. So we'll just put that up here on his pile because I'm not going to buy that. So I have 31 gold. And now I can buy some stuff. The leather helm looks really interesting to me, as does the Ring of Truth. I want to buy this Ring of Truth first. So I'm going to try to buy that. Let's take a look at what we got. So I'm 31 higher, so I'm 46 gold. If I spend 36 gold outright, I can buy it. But I have 3 charisma icons, so I can haggle with him pretty well. So I'm going to try to haggle for that. I need a 3 or lower. I did get it. So I can buy it for 2 times the price for 24, and I will do that. So I've now bought the Ring of Truth, and because I now possess it, I'm going to equip it first off, right? And that gets me a white cube. It also gets me a legend point and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fame because I am the first to possess this Ring of Truth. Now it's worth noting, if I sell it and then somebody else gets it, loots it, or purchases it, they don't get the treasure. I was the guy who found it in the shop and knew what it really was, is kind of the way that works. That's the end of my trade action. So I have 3 actions left. I am going to purchase this, and I'm not gonna I'm the leather helm, so a second trade action, and I'm just buying it outright. I'm not bothering to haggle. I'm going to spend 15 gold for it because I have the gold, and right now actions are more precious to me than a little bit of gold. Worth noting, gold doesn't mean anything from a victory point perspective, other than its use in game to buy titles. Which, speaking of, I did say the watch could come here, so if I kill some some evil leaders, I can get points. The soldiers can come here. If I find any treasures of the Lost Prince, which I haven't, and then if I get outlaw tokens, I can earn some LP with the console. Okay, the dwarves are all done. They're totally satisfied. So I have 2 actions left. 1 if I move into the mine. Okay. With my 2 actions left, I'm going to attempt to learn a spell. I'm going to attempt to learn the charm spell because that will be really useful to me if I complete missions. So I'm going to attempt to learn this spell. I have 2 actions left. I'm going to roll these dice and see what happens. Okay, 1 success. My 4th and final action, I'm going to attempt to learn the spell, and I fail. So that's the end of that turn. I roll the dice for summoning monsters. The only thing I'm paying attention to is this because I'm in a civ location and I don't have any treasures that summon elsewhere. In other words, put it another way, I'm not in Carrion and I'm not in a wilderness cave tile. But I am in a civ location that matches those icons. In the mod, you merely click on this and it will bring them all here. And so let me pull me out of that stack. Okay. All right. Oh, I forgot to do something last turn, which was, I apologize for that. I should have rolled to see if I insulted the dwarves last turn because the dwarves were here with me. So I apologize for that. I do need to roll for insults. So I'll roll the dice and then I'll explain what happens after. I don't want to see any doors. And the worst thing you can roll is double doors, which is what I rolled. Let's explain what happens. So for this discussion, please note that I have 1 cunning icon, 4 wisdom, and 3 charisma. So when you are rolling for insults, which you do at the end of any turn where you are in a clearing with natives, there's always a chance that you anger them. You know, this happened in the last game I played too, this exact thing. If you don't roll any doors, right? So as long as you don't roll any doors, so if I had said rolled this and that, if there are no doors, everybody's cool. Just go on with your day. If you roll a single door, then you look at the other die and you compare it to the icons that you have. And any icons where you rolled higher than the number of icons you have, natives with that icon attack you, or at least they're insulted by you. So if this was the die roll, a door and a 4, the cunning natives and the charisma natives would be insulted by me, but the wisdom natives would not. The final thing, you also get a bonus for various things, a couple minor things in the game, but the big one is, in my case, is if you've purchased a title or have a title with a native, that's a +1 to you. So I remember with the dwarves, I have a few titles with them. It doesn't matter how many titles you have. If you have even one title with them, you get a +1. So in this case, the wisdom happens to be with the dwarves respect, and so I have 5 icons with them. So again, if I had rolled this, then these natives, 2 different groups of natives would be upset with me. Well, how do you know what they respect? It's printed on their tokens. So in that case, again, rolling a door and a 4, the bodyguard and the consul underneath, right, would have, and I like actually having the consul on top for that reason. The consul and the bodyguard would combat me. This guy respects wisdom, so he would not. These are charisma, again with a door and a 4, so they would, and the dwarves would not. That's all hypothetical because I rolled 2 doors. If you roll 2 doors, every native in the clearing is upset with you and insulted by you. You have 2 choices. You can, at that point, choose to buy drinks. It costs 1 gold for every native in the group. So if I want the consul so I could buy drinks, and all of these are insulted by me. So what I'm going to do is I will buy drinks for the 4 soldiers. And you can tell, by the way, the number of natives, assuming you haven't hired anybody, the number of natives is, whatever the highest number is, that's how many natives there are. So there are 4 natives, there are 3 dwarves, and 3 watts. So I have 7 gold. So I can pay off 2 of these groups. Okay. How fast are these? Nope. You know what? I lied. I'm only spending 2 gold. I'm going to pay 2 gold to pay off the consul and the leader. Or sorry, the consul and the bodyguard. Okay, and I'll explain why in a minute. Okay. The other folks battle me. So the soldiers, the watch, and the dwarves all attack or try to block me. I'm going to try to hide. And I fail. I didn't sneak, so even a single one would have caused me to be unhidden. So let's just go grab these guys. These are all, so I didn't buy them drinks. They were insulted by me. And they all are attacking me. Okay, so I'm in combat with all of these natives. Let's just line them up. There are 10 natives attacking me. Good thing I have a leather helm, huh? But here's why I didn't care. Look at the maneuver speed of all, and so they all challenge me. First step of combat, they all challenge me. all of them. But I have the Shoes of the Thief, which allows me to evade with a speed of 3, and the fastest native is a 2. So yeah, haha, you're insulted by me. I don't care. Using my Shoes of the Thief, I'm going to evade, and I will run this way. Yeah, the Discord. I'm unhidden, so I would have. You'd have all. Even if I cast it and I hit 2 of them, I'd still have 8 other guys coming after me. So I'm gonna grab the dwarf and this dwarf and this dwarf in a pile. Then I'm gonna grab the rest of these guys just in order. Soldier 2, Soldier 3, come on. Soldier 3, Soldier 4, Watch Leader. Yeah, that's where this treasures man can really save your keister sometimes. All right. So those, I'm just going to put them all right there. Okay. I have run away. We are now on to the next turn. Okay. So, turn 23, and I'm looking for bats, and I'm looking for the altar. If I can find that, I can score some points, quite a bit of points. Okay, so because I am in between clearings, my first move has to be in one direction or the other. I count as having been in whatever the clearing was that I was in. In this case, it was an above ground, so I get 4 actions. I could go right back. It's worth noting that when during that time, they're what's called enemies, but it's temporary enemies. If I return right now, they're no longer upset with me. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go right back. That's my first action. And then I'm going to attempt to learn that spell again. Okay, I got 1 success. I'm going to third action. And I'm going to go a 4th action. And I did have 2 successes. I learned the charm spell. It leaves the book and comes to my area here. I get a legend point and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fame. We roll the dice for summoning. Okay. All of these guys are already at my clearing, so it doesn't matter, but I did roll a monster's return, which is going to cause all these monsters to go back to their box. Oops. All go back to the monster trays, which is good. And anybody else? Oh yeah, these guys over here. Return. And I think that's it. Now, I again didn't sneak. I roll the haggle dice to see if I insulted anybody. Let's see. I rolled no doors, so now who knows what I did last turn? You know, perhaps, you know, I was not on my best behavior, but this time I was, and so there's no problem, which is good. Okay. Interesting. So, no trouble. I retrieve, and that's a new turn. I'm going to attempt to learn Turn Undead. So I roll the dice. I have 1 success. Roll this die for my second action, and I learn Turn Undead. I get a legend point. I get a, there we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fame. Okay, as my third action, I'm going to trade with the other native that's there. I think it was the smuggler. Yep. And the smuggler is up here. He's in the... Where is he? He is right here. Now you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. I don't know that it'll pay off, but I'm desperate at this point. Okay. The watch, who is in the clearing with me, is looking for the new maps. The betrayer. Ooh. If only I knew where the artificer was. He wants somebody dead. So interesting. Okay. I'm going to take this new maps and I'm going to ditch the bat hawker. So I should put this, let's be specific. I'll put that in the discard for the missions. Okay, so I have the new maps in my possession. I was hoping for a great treasure. That's what I was really hoping. Or sorry, an epic treasure. There is none. So those aren't going to give me anything. I will sell this spell book with the one remaining spell on it for 4 gold. That's number 1. Yeah. I wonder which of these I want. So I'll sell the Artificer's Concoction for 5. So that's 9 gold. So I'm at 14. And then I don't think I want to buy any of these. So I will merely... Oh, you know what? Let's do something fun. I will take this Betrayer mission. And I'll ditch the Dark Worshipper. Okay. Because I don't know where the altar is, and I don't know that I'm going to have time to find it. So we're going to ditch that. But that also means that I can sell this treasure to the guy. So that's 31 gold more. So I'm at 45 gold. I'm at 45 gold. Why is it not change? Oh, I see. I'm at 45 gold. Ugh. Stop. One thing I don't like about Tabletop Simulator is that you see here, I happened to have clicked exactly there. And so it thought I was typing it there. I have 45 gold. All right. And then we're going to put all this stuff back. Oh, come on, Tabletop Simulator. Cooperate with me. Group. Flip. And that all goes back to the smuggler. All right. So that was 2 actions I've done so far, right? I am going to... So it's worth noting. Here's why I did what I did. This new maps, I can trading on my wisdom, which is 4. I can get some pretty cool stuff, right? I can trade this to the watch, who's in my clearing right now, right? And then I can earn some bonus rewards. Okay. But what I want to do is at the end of this turn, I'm going to cast Charm, which will give me +2 attributes. I'll be rolling the once I complete that mission next turn, I'll be rolling 6 dice. So that's awesome. Okay. And then yeah, so I have 2 actions left. I want to hire somebody. Because I might go rogue here after this. I am going to hire. Okay, so it would be either Soldier 4 Or I could hire a member of the watch. I am going to hire. Okay, I'm going to hire soldier. Attempt to hire soldier 4. The price. So I'm taking a hire action. The price is 4 times the amount of. Hey, Chris, welcome. 4 times the fame value, so 24 gold to hire that soldier. I have 45 gold, which is pretty good, but I also have 3 charisma. You know what? I'm just going to pay it because I got a plan in mind. I'm going to pay 24 gold to hire soldier 4. This guy's a crossbowman, which I can do from hiding. So that person is hired. And then as a second action, I am going to attempt to hire that first member of the watch. That's 7 gold, which means 7 times 3 is 28. I don't have that much. So we're going to attempt to haggle because I got to get him down in price if I want to have success. So I look at the number of wisdom icons that I have. I have 4. So as long as I don't roll a closed door, and I did. So that was my last action of the turn. But even if that sucks. Even if I would have more actions left, a closed door means that entire native group is off limits to me hiring. So, and then remember, this is where I'm located. Okay, so that was my final action of the turn. So let's roll to see if anybody's insulted by me. And I rolled only numbers. Now, a couple things that do modify what's happened. The soldiers will never be insulted by me because I've hired one of their own. So by hiring this guy, I made myself immune to the soldiers. In this case, it doesn't matter, right? I don't have anything, or I didn't roll a door, so they didn't challenge me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the first round of combat, I'm going to place 2 cubes here. I'm going to cast Charm on myself. And the reason I'm doing that, so this gets wounded. There's no other combat happening, so I don't have to place other cubes. Next turn, for the next day, that's what this symbol means, I'm +2 to all my attributes. So hiring will be easier, and I'm going to complete this mission with the watch leader, thereby giving me some bonus rolls. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, let me think about this. Yeah. I actually did want to hide. So, sorry, I should have done this at the start. I did want to try to hide, and I am hidden. I cast the charm spell, which means I have to, that's considered an ambush. And even though there's nobody attacking me, I still have to roll to see if I'm hidden. And I am still hidden. Now, the reason that's important is, remember, I talked about this soldier being a crossbowman. He is going to take a pot shot, so we are going to now throw down with the console. Okay. So, when you throw down with a native, when you attack a native, when you target a native, number 1, I can't. This soldier will not target his own crew, so there's no way that I can target him. I could target the dwarves. I could target some other folks, but when you target a native, all natives with matching icons instantly become your temporary enemies for the turn. So I didn't want to target either the watch or the dwarf because then all the rest of them would come to their aid. So the watch, although independent, is there to help guard. They watch out for the dwarves and vice versa. So by targeting the The consul, as being the only one in the clearing with the cunning symbol, this is the only person I fight. And because we're hidden, I'm going to put this guy on this side, and he is going to target the bodyguard. He's going to target the bodyguard. Okay. So you do not roll for tactics each round of combat for natives until they're targeted. So we don't roll for those other dwarves, that kind of thing. But we do roll for these guys. So let's roll to see if they change tactics. My soldier does not change tactics. He just stays as he is. So this guy flips to this side. And again, we're taking a pot shot with the crossbow from hiding. So this speed of 1 against this speed of 2 is not a hit. We have to roll to see if we hit. Kind of wish I'd gone after the console now. That's my ultimate goal. Okay, and I missed. And now we roll to see if we stay hidden. And we don't. Yeah, so maybe this is how I die, huh? And again, if there's any questions on this, don't hesitate to ask. All right, so I'm now in the clearing. Natives always share the same hide status that you have. So now that I'm unhidden, we're both unhidden. We have to determine who these two guys want to target. A 1, 2, 3 is me. A 4, 5, 6 is the other guy. So they both go after. So bad news for him, but good news for me. They both go after that guy. And he's so now I choose a target for this guy. He is going to again target the bodyguard, and I'm going to target. So I'm targeting the console. He is targeting the bodyguard. Is that the way I want to do it? Yep, that is the way I want to do it. But the problem is he's going to die unless I flip him over and have him don't attack, where he's just trying to dodge. So, yep, we're going to have him flip over where he doesn't even dodge. And I am going to go after the console with my dagger. So I'm going to put 1 in there. I'm going to put 4 cubes in here so that I can auto hit and hopefully kill him. Okay, so the first thing that happens is we roll for tactics for those natives. They both flip, which is horrible. Okay, second round of combat. We go in turn order of attack speed. My attack speed is first, which is faster than the console. 4 is my, let's go down here just to show it. My attack speed is 4. 4 is faster than the 3 maneuver speed, so I hit doing 2 damage, which is more than his health. I kill the console and get 7 fame for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Additionally, because I killed a native, where are they? I get an outlaw token. Okay, not a deep treasure, or not a treasure. I get an outlaw token. Okay, so that potentially could be a drag on my end of the turn. The other thing is the console, who's part of the console group, is now a permanent enemy of mine. So even if this combat ends, the console or the bodyguard will always block me and will always attack me. For the rest of the game, he's like a monster to me. He's thirsting for revenge. Okay, next attack is this speed 3, which is faster than the 2 of the soldier. That does 3 damage, minus 1 for the armor, which matches the soldier's strength. He is killed. He's out of the game. Note that doesn't have any impact on the other soldiers, but because he's in my employment, I lose the 6 fame. If anytime a native in your employment dies, you lose the fame value. We go on to the next round of combat. And we see here that he's going to clobber me pretty. Well, do I give it one round? Nope, I don't. Okay, so we roll. He targets me. I am going to use Shoes of the Thief to run away, to evade. So that's the end. He's a permanent, monster to me. Let's zoom out so I can scroll this easier. Okay, so he is a permanent enemy of mine. Oops. And I'm going to run this way. Okay, that was the end of that. That was a little more involved, but it uses all the same rules. So turn 25. So I could move one right back in, but remember what I said before. This guy doesn't like me. So we're going to go one. I'm going to sneak. And then as two, third action, I'm going to move back in. He tries to block me. The console is thirsting for revenge. So I'm going to roll my hide dice to see if I stay hidden or not. And I do because I snuck. And remember, I have charm right now. So as my fourth and final action, I will trade with the watch to deliver the new maps. That gets me 15 gold. So I'm at 36. And I get to roll one mission die for each matching wisdom symbol. I have 4, and then I have 5, 6 because of charm. So I'm going to roll this die 6 times, and at times I receive that reward. I want fame. So I get 8 more. So that's 52. I'm going to do it again. I got gold, which I don't need, 48. And one more time. I get, I don't want gold. So I have 60 gold. Okay, that's the end of the turn. We roll the dice. The reason we roll this is in case there's monsters that can return, that kind of thing. I'm in a cave tile, so nothing happens. I'm in a civ location, so nothing happens. I don't need to re-roll the hide, but I do still re-roll for insults. And it's not that important, but you should do it even if you're hidden. I could ignore it if I want. Who cares if they're insulted by me? I'm hidden. All right. On to the next turn. New turn. That worked out okay. I'm at 15 points. I almost feel like I need to go rogue here and slaughter these other guys too if I have a chance. And I got the gold to do it. That's kind of cool. Do I want to throw down with where I grab the watch and go kill the soldiers? Or do I hire the soldiers and go kill the watch and the dwarves and see if I can? Interesting. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our time. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to take 2 actions to heal that. I'm going to drink this potion and convert this white cube into a yellow cube so that I can cast Discord if I want without enchanting the tile. The third action I'm going to do is I am going to hire watch number 3. I'm going to hire watch number 3, and that would be for 28 gold. But I'm going to got a snap point set there. I'm going to try and haggle. Yeah, I'm going to try and haggle. I have his symbol is wisdom. I have 4, so anything but a closed door. So it's only 21. I will spend 21 to hire the watch number 3. And then my fourth and final action is I'm going to try and hire watch number 2. Oops, that's a soldier. I'm going to attempt to hire watch number 2 under the same circumstances. And again, I will try to haggle. Success. So he is 21 as well. I'm going to be greedy and try and haggle one more time. And I succeed. Price is 14. So I now have 25 gold left. That was the end of my turn. I roll the summoning dice. Okay, nothing comes. They're already there, so I don't have to do that. And now I roll for insults. Oh, for criminy sake. So it's okay, so that's crazy. Well, I'm gonna get what I want. Let's grab all these guys. Oh, all right. Well, we'll bring me along too. Okay. So, a couple things happen. I have the watch hired, so the watch leader doesn't combat me, but all these other guys do. So let's line them up this way. It's also worth noting. So, but I'm gonna get my wish, which is to fight these guys. Let's see if I hide. I do because of my sneak. Thank God. Okay. So, actually, I was already hidden, so I guess I didn't need to roll for that. So I'm when the bodyguard tried to block me. So what I'm going to do here's what I'm going to do. On the first turn, I am going to cast Discord using. Come on, please work with me, TTS. I'm going to cast Discord using those 3 cubes. I'm not alerted, so there we have a speed of 2. It has to hit 2 targets in order to take effect. What I want to do is see if I can get this soldier leader and dwarf leader to combat each other. So I'm targeting both these guys is basically the way to think about it. And I have to hit them both, and if I do, they will fight each other. I'm doing that from hiding. These 2 watch guys are just going to stay still. We roll for tactics. Okay, so let's roll these. We roll for these natives are in combat, so they do roll for tactics. Let's roll these 2 bottom ones now. Do these dwarfs flip? No. Does that soldier flip? Let's roll that 1. He does. And then finally, let's roll for the soldier leader and dwarf leader. I don't want these guys to flip. And they don't. The reason that matters is it's the first round of combat. My spell goes off first, right? And I'm attack speed 2 to 0. These 2 the 2 leaders are now going to go at each other. Okay? So, I now roll to see if we stay hidden, and we're only going to be fighting those 5 guys. I don't stay hidden. So, I'm now in the clearing, as are my 2 watch members. The only good news out of this, and by the way, I do wound this cube. The only good news out of this is that those 2 leaders, which are the 2 toughest of the guys, are targeting each other. So they will fight each other independently. These 5, on the other hand, are potentially coming after us. So let's roll to see who they target. First, dwarf number 2. So 1, 2 is me. 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll the dice. 3. So this dwarf, let's clear a little space. I got it kind of zeroed in here pretty quick. This dwarf is targeting watch number 2. Okay. I'm going to, again, clear even more space. Okay. Next guy. I don't want any 1s or 2s. This guy's going after the last guy. No 1s or 2s. No 1s or 2s. 3. This dwarf is going to, 2 dwarves are going after that watch. Oh, this guy is coming after me. And finally, oh, I got 2 guys coming after me. That could be bad. Okay, so that's where they're going. Now I determine who we're going to target. Well, I'm going to target this guy. I can't kill him is the problem. What do I do here? What do I do? Hey, Patrick. Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to go right down the line. He's going to, oh, and this always starts on the name side up. He's going to target him. He's going to target dwarf number 2. I'm going to target the first guy. So we're all targeting the guys in the first row. I need to place my tokens or my chits. This might be bad for me. This might be really bad for me. Okay, I'm going to put 2 and 2, and then my dagger. Kind of wish I'd kept that that one treasure that allowed the artificer's concoction. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And I'm leaving these guys on their speedy side in the hopes that they can avoid getting hit. Let's roll. I'm going to roll 2 dice at a time for each of these natives. I am going to have some crazy luck. This guy flipped to this side. What about these 2 dwarves? The bottom guy flipped, and now only the top die matters for the bodyguard. He does not flip. And now for these 2 guys who are targeting each other, let's see what happens. The top guy flips. Okay, so this is the second round of combat. It's in speed order. This dwarf leader has the fastest attack at a speed of 3. That is faster than the maneuver of the guy that he's targeting. It does 2 damage minus 1, thereby causing 1 wound. So I'm going to duplicate this cube. So he got hit and took a wound. The next fastest attack is a 2, which is me and all these other guys. But these 2s go first because they're longer than my length of my dagger. So this dwarf targeting watch number 2, it does not have more maneuver speed, so it has to roll the hit dice. We want to see a blank here. Yes, so this dwarf missed. Now the bodyguard. We also want to see a blank here. Yes, the bodyguard missed as well. So my 2 watch survived. Next is my attack at speed 2, which hits this guy for 1 plus 1 damage. But because he has armor, let's zoom in on that. Because he has armor, it reduces the damage by 1. So 1 damage is not enough to kill him. He takes a wound. Okay. Next attack. This is speed 1. This is a speed 1. That's a speed 1. This is a speed 0. So this is a 1, but it's a length of 20. So this is the next attack to go. A speed of 1 against my maneuver of 2 is not fast enough to hit me. We again roll the dice. two attack speed of 1 versus 2, he hits me. Of course he does. That does 3 damage, but I have armor, which reduces it by 1 to 2. But because the 2 is more than the strength of my leather helm, that goes away, and I take a wound. I will take it on this cube. And actually, I should have deleted that when I sold the robust ring. Okay, so that sucks. 1 hit and I'm dead is the problem. Okay, so that was this attack. The next fastest attack is this with a speed of 1 against a speed of 1. So we roll the hit dice. We don't want any blanks. We got a blank, so we missed. Next fastest attack is this with a speed of 1. So we roll the dice. Speed of 1 versus a maneuver of 2. These are misses. So we're still in business. Okay. Now we go to the 0 attack speeds. This has an attack speed of 0, as does that, as does that. But this is a speed of 20, or a length of 20, so that goes next. We don't want 2 hit symbols. That misses me. So I'm still okay. The next longest attack is this of 16. So that matches the maneuver speed. So we want a hit symbol, or we want no blank. So this guy misses, right? Because attack speed is 0 to a maneuver speed of 0, but the blank is a miss. Finally, this attack. I need 2 hit symbols for him to hit the bodyguard. Hey, Ketu. He misses. So this is all going fairly poorly. All right. We are at the top of the round. We need to roll for who these 5 target. A 1-2 is me. A 3-4 is watch number 2. Watch number 2. And 5-6 is watch 3. So this one. 1. This guy targets me. Next to this guy. He switches targets over to here. The dwarf. If nobody targets me, I'll be okay. Ugh. He targets me. So these 2 are targeting watch number 2. And the final guy. Don't be me. Don't be me. Don't be me. Don't be me. And he goes right here. So this is who people are targeting. These natives are targeting me, targeting me, targeting me. And I'm going to target the same guy I targeted last time. These guys might switch. Nope, they're gonna target the first guy again. This is the first guy. These guys are still pissed at each other from my spell, so we'll target each other. I am going to change my tactics, however. Oh, I can't. I'm only a speed 2. Ugh, that's not good. Okay. All right. So let's roll to see who changes tactics among these 5 and then those 2. So first, the dwarf and the spearman. The spearman does change tactics, so he's now this way. Which of these guys turn? These 2? Neither. What about the bodyguard? Come on. Tabletop Simulator is really acting up today. So the bodyguard does not switch. And then finally, those 2 up top, they do not change tactics. Okay, so in attack speed order, this is the fastest attack at a speed of 3, which undercuts and does 2 damage, killing the soldier leader. Because I'm the one who cast the Discord spell, I actually earn that fame. So I get 63. I'm at 63 fame. Note that this guy will, the spell is now broken, so he's going to be targeting somebody else. The next fastest attack speed is 2, and this guy has a longer weapon than me, so his attack goes first. If we roll, and he equals me, so unless I roll a blank here, it's all over. Ugh! Okay, so his attack speed of 2, let's just show this. His attack speed of 2 matches my maneuver speed of 2. I could have played Shoes of the Thief to run away, but I didn't. So he hits me with a strength of 3. I have no armor. 3 is greater than or equal to my number of hearts, thereby killing me. So I died. In hindsight, I should have, when I had these two guys on me, I should have used my Shoes of the Thief to run away, because, or I could have even just run away without them, because their maneuver speed 1 and live to fight another day. I thought I could get in one more kill. I was being greedy. So I died. That reduces this by half. So 32 is my new score. And then that gets at us 10 to 1. 1, 2, 3 gets rounded. And that's my final score. I died with 13 legend points and 2 fame. Actually, that's not completely true. I killed a native, right? So I have to roll the dice to see what happens. I might get or lose points. And I rolled nothing, so there's no effect to the outlaw token. So that is my final score: 13 legend points and 2 fame. Okay, any questions? You can either ask it verbally or type it in the chat if you have them. Patrick is typing. We'll give it a moment. Yeah, it was, I was so close to the end of the game. I'm just got a couple turns left that I felt like one more kill was really important. But I was getting close if you think about it. Yeah, I did. I got this. So the comment Patrick made was, you saw Discord in action, and it allowed me to gain 11 more fame and kill off the soldier leader. Note that I'm not the one who actually killed the soldier leader, so I don't earn an outlaw token for that. So anyway, that's the game. I'll stop the stream now. Thanks everybody for attending and all the questions that were asked. I'll get this all cleaned up and put it up on YouTube on my channel. All right. Take care, all. Bye bye.